All right, I am Georgia Bradsher, one of the original, I guess you'd say, inhabitants of this place here. I was born not here, about a half mile from here, and I have been here ever since I was a baby, I guess you would say. And of course, in the course of time, I lost my mother and my father due to an accident, to a car accident. And I was raised by my grandmother, my aunt, and my uncle. And I lived here with them until I went off to college. And after I left here, going to college, I taught in Roxborough, North Carolina, for 4 years. And then I got married in 1960. The people that I was related to that lived in this house was my Uncle Albert Rees by marriage to my Aunt Laura, which was my mother's sister. My grandmother was the primary one who raised me. She was my mother's mother. And John Robert was her son. That was my uncle. And those were the ones that really lived here for years. And living in the community, it was just, we really were all family in this house, in my cousin's house next door, which was Dolores. Her mother and my mother were first cousins. So Dolores and I are second cousins. And we had other cousins, Norman and Wootsy and David, Alfred. And we lived in this community, and we all lived as a family to a certain extent. And generally what one got, the other one got. There was a band at the school, so all of us got instruments. We all played different instruments. I played saxophone. Dolores played the clarinet. I think Dave played the trumpet. I think all of them had trumpets, I believe. And then come time for Christmas, we all got just about the same thing, bicycles. If one got a bicycle, the other one got a bicycle. So Dolores and I were almost like twins. Her mother only had one child. My mother only had one child. So for a long time, they dressed us as twins. So from then on, when we were small, we just always considered ourselves sisters because we were only children. We were the only children. And we just lived in the neighborhood and really enjoyed ourselves. And we went to school. All of us were played in the band, on the basketball team. One played on the football team. We were all active in sports. All of us were active in sports. We were active in some of everything because we followed our parents. If one did it, like I said in the beginning, the parents sort of helped the other one. You go along the same line. We attended First Baptist Church. We went to Sunday school. We went to BYPU at that time. You don't find many people going to young people going to evening services like that. But we had to be there. If it started at 6 o'clock, we had to be there at 6 o'clock. If it started at 4 o'clock, we had to be there at 4 o'clock. All of us had to be there. Everybody would call, see, you going? Yeah, you going? All of us would go at the same time. And as far as the other activities in the church, we were in the choir. We were on the usher board. We did everything but preached. We had to do some of everything. Whatever they needed, we had to do it. And we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it because there were people that were interested in us. And those people would take us to different conferences. And Miss Sarah Caldwell and Miss, what was the lady's name? Miss Sarah and Miss June Caldwell, yeah. They would always see that we got a chance to go. If it was the usher board, we went. If it was with the BYPU, we went. I don't care what it was for. They'd always see that we got a chance to go. And they even put us in speaking contests. They send us everywhere. So we just grew up together in a neighborhood where everybody seemed to have respected each other. I'm almost afraid to say love, because you don't know, sometimes there's a difference in respect and love. But in our community, everybody seemed to have respected each other. Granny did not play. Granny meant business. Granny was one of the ones where on Sunday you didn't play ball. As they have games now on Sunday, you didn't play ball. But we tried to. We'd get on one side of the house. She had a stick. You could hear her coming through the house. As she would come through the house, we'd be playing ball on this side. Somebody said, "Here come Granny." We'd take off and go around to the other side of the house. If him is, "Here come Granny." So we had a game running from Granny. It wasn't a game. It was a game running from Granny. But she taught us an awful lot. She taught us an awful lot. How to treat people. And the way she lived, you know, you learned that this is what you do. Even though she was a slave, I think now a lot about, she never talked about the bad things that happened to her. Very, very little. I don't recall. Now maybe Dolores does. But I don't remember her talking very much about her slavery. But she did. She would tell us from time to time. One of the main things was the day that they realized that they were freed. And she said they were in the fields. And the soldiers came up on the horses with these blue uniforms, these Yankee soldiers, and asked them did they know that they had been freed. And they said that they didn't. And they went to jumping up and hollering and screaming and going on to know that they had been freed. But where could they go? Why was it that they could go? Even though they were free, where could they go? So she really taught us. But I know there's one thing that we used to stay with her at night. And Granny would always close her windows real tight. And me and Lois were sleeping there with her. She had her bed, and we had our bed. So we wouldn't suffocate. Lois would sing while I raised the window up so he could get some air. And we'd have to get up early in the morning, sing again so we could let the window down. But this is the way, but Granny she's gonna have her windows closed. But this is what we did. We upped the windows singing and lowered the windows singing. But Granny was she was a wonderful person. She was a lovely person. And she was a Christian-hearted woman. You could tell that with the people in the community loved her. I don't care, black, white, I don't care who it was. And they called her Aunt Nellie. And I used to wonder why, because they called my grandmother Aunt Margie. And I used to wonder why, because you're black, they're white. But then I realized, okay, many of us had white ancestors, great-grandfathers, or what have you. And that's the reason you don't know whether you're related to these people or not. And they had somewhere along down the line, they had an idea that you could be related to me, because both of our great-grandparents are white. So this is possibly the reason that they called them aunt. As far as I know, my grandfather was the one that built this house. It was not built as it is today. there was a small section put here first, and then it was added to that section. And I can imagine. I can imagine my some of his niece nephews, I guess, probably gave him a hand in doing so, because they all worked with him. You know, they were working here at the time, and I'm thinking that all of them worked with him, probably putting it together. But it didn't come here as it is here now. It was added to. First of all, it was a log cabin, and then they began to add more to it.
Do you know like any names like Daddy D?
There's a great possibility. I'm not aware of who all was involved in the building of the house. I just know that my grandfather was the one that built it, and it was possibly in about 1910. I was working in Roxborough, and there was a young lady there named Dee Dee, and he knew Dee Dee, and he knew that Dee Dee was a friend of mine. So he told, well, first of all, he had seen one of my students, and he told her that he'd love to talk to me. Well, she told him, said she ain't gonna have time to talk to you, which she didn't tell you. But then Dee Dee kept coming to me, said, Miss McCoy, see, I was McCoy then. Miss McCoy said, my friend want to know when you gonna let him talk to you. I don't have time. Okay, we go on a while. I'd see another couple of days. My friend asked me again, when you gonna let me talk to him? When am I gonna let you talk to him? I told you, Dee, I don't have time. Okay, I had to go someplace to play, and I left my car down to the service station. And while I was gone, he washed it, waxed it, did everything to it. So when I got back, he told me that he had cleaned my car. So I said, how much do I owe you? Oh, no. How much do I owe you? You don't need to pay me anything. No, my grandmother told me, don't take no money from no man, and don't have them doing that. You pay for it. I don't remember whether I paid for it or not.
No, you didn't.
Okay. And so I kept pushing him off, and I told him, he asked me then, said, when you gonna let me go with you home? I said, I don't have time. I have to play for church. And I go see my grandmother. Okay. We went on.
Next Friday, I was right back there again.
I finally went home to play for church, and to this day, I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I came back from playing for church that Sunday, and I got to my house, and I called him on the phone. I don't know. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. But he was with his other girlfriend at the time. When I called him. But see, I didn't know it. Yeah, he was down there with another woman. So I told him, I said, guess who this is? And he was shocked. So he took her home and came back up there where I was. And we've been together ever since. There's so much. I spoke to, I don't know whether it was one of mine. I want them to be active, and this is what I've tried to do, to be active and do things that's going to help them later on in life. Nobody's going to give you anything, and you're going to have to work for it. And the way things are now, you can't just throw your hands up and say, I can't do it. You got to have stick-to-itiveness. And as the way I see things going now, if they don't continue to try to better themselves, you'll be in bad shape later on in life. Not because of what you have not tried to do, but because of what others have not going to let you do. So what you got to do now is to continue to do everything that you can yourself to help yourself. And this is what I push so much for, working politically, because I see what's going on, and I see what's taking place, and I see what's going to have to happen. And if you don't do something about it, and if I don't continue to do what I'm doing and pushing you to do what I have done, then it's not going to be good for you. So I want to see you work hard, strive hard. Whatever you set out to do, don't say I can't do it. Because of who you are, you can't back up. You can't back up. You got to go forward. And this is what we had to do, what little we had to do with. The opportunity is out there now. So go get it. Don't let somebody else take what belongs to you. This is what's happening now. A lot of this we're just giving up and letting them take away from us. But don't let them take what's yours, but know how to go and get it.
I'll have to say the same thing. I'll have to say the same thing. And I really admire the thing that she has done in life and done for me also. We've been together for 61 years. Soon be 63, 62. Anyway, all of those years have been very, very enjoyable, as far as we have been to the place where we had and we haven't had. But we were grateful and thankful that the good Lord has smiled on us and brought us down this far, blessed with 2 children. And they are in life doing great. And at the time that I come here to this house on a 3rd Sunday in May, my mother carried dinner to the church, and I was so anxious to get out here to see her. I told her that I said, I'm going to bring lunch for you all from the church. And my mama fixed plates, and I brought them here that Sunday. I was the happiest man you've ever seen. Brought those plates down here, and I gave them to her, and she brought them in the kitchen. And her aunt-in-law, come back out there and said, son, so I don't know who cooked that food, so it is some kind of good. So I'm going back in there and eat some more. And we sat out there and talked a while, and it wasn't long for she brought me in that room there where was the living room. And we sat and talked a while, and she said, I got to go play for church tonight. I said, well, I'll go with you. I went with her to First Baptist that night, and she played. And after church was over, we came home, and she said, what are we going to do? I said, let's go down to the place and get us some ice cream and come back here and sit on the porch a while. We came back here and sit on the porch and ate ice cream, and me and her grandmother talked. And I knew then, I said, I got a rough road in front of me. Because Grandma was one of them tough nuts. She was a sweet woman, but you had to understand her. And after she got to the place where she seen that she could talk to me and I was trustable, one of the best things ever happened. Me and her got along good. And Aunt Laura, oh Lord, she was just the sweetest person you've ever seen, but she wasn't the person that, expected everything out of you at one time. She was very, very nice, loving person. And we went together for 6 months and married in that same 6 months. We started going together in May, and we married in December the 25th, Christmas Day. people ask me, say, why you want to marry Christmas Day? I said, you ever known Santa Claus to bring a gift that nobody didn't want? I said, Santa brought everything that he would bring to you was good. I said, so that's what I'm going to try. So Santa brought me a gift, and I haven't regretted having that gift since he gave it to me. And we've been together, and as I said, the Lord bless us with two lovely children. And we have grandchildren, and we love them too.